right, friends. We'll continue in just a few moments. Get a few things set up here. All right. So with this part 5 of building the City of Lanterns set for Monkey Kid, we're going to be starting with book number 2. Now, book number 2 is going to take us to the last half of the build. And let's get going. Book number 2 is going to start us out on, I believe, bag number 9. Find a spot for our older minifigs down here so that they're not in the way. Pretty sure these lower levels are done, so it should be pretty safe to just stow them away down here. Shouldn't bother anything, I don't think. Come on, Monkey Kid. Cooperate. There we go. And we'll put Pigsy over here as if he's just attended some karaoke. And we'll put our little robot, our city robot, right over here under one of the lanterns. Kind of some cramped areas down here. There we go. Okay, now we have some room to work. Then I'll go ahead and take Pigsy's blimp and put it up there for now. Or hot air balloon. I guess I can't believe I said blimp. Hot air balloon. All right, let's begin. We get a lot of this kind of really, I don't know, it's like a light yellow, kind of pastel looking color for this one. So that's interesting. Not really sure what all is being built here. It's some kind of building. And here's our Mai minifig, or May. Is it May or Mai? I always get it mixed up. All right. I'm really liking the printing on the torso there. I think that's pretty cool looking. The green and white combo for her is just a really good look. I like the more dynamic facial expression here too. And it looks like the only accessory that she has, no kind of weapon or anything, this is definitely her in a more casual look, is her cell phone. That's one interesting thing about this set. There's no, from what I can tell anyway, there isn't a whole lot of presence of like conflict in it. And usually Lego is all about like the battle in a box, conflict in a box kind of thing. But for this, I think they've completely strayed away from that. So you know what? That's fine, because I think that's kind of done to death anyway. I think this is just more like just the casual city. I think. I mean, watch me be proven wrong as we build. We do start out with a little platform piece, and I think that that's how a lot of these little mini buildings are going to start out. And keep in mind that I believe that we're to the point now to where it's time to start actually making the buildings that go up there. I do want to point out one thing before I get started building in earnest, though, here. And that's that I really didn't say too much because I was deep in conversation when we got to it for our last live stream part. But it is this, there's a cool reference here that I've absolutely got to talk about, and I didn't get a chance to last time, so I definitely want to talk about it now. And it's this. This is a nap sticker. And if any of you guys know what that is, it's not something I ever bought, or honestly, I don't even remember seeing it. I might have seen it at Toys R Us and just didn't know what it was when I was a kid, maybe. But this was kind of like Lego's attempt to compete with Kinects. And they tried to do a whole new building system with it, and it failed miserably. And they're horrible looking. I mean, I've seen some sets that people have like put together using those, and some of the things I've seen, like original creations, some of those aren't too bad, but man, oh man, they were atrocious looking. It was like, imagine like a bunch of rainbow sticks. Yeah, they should have called them rainbow sticks. That probably would have been more, I don't know, maybe that would have been more marketable. Anything's possible, I guess. All right, with that out of the way, I feel like I can finally start, because I just had to reference that Znap thing right there. I think that's how you pronounce it. At least that's what I've always said. Lego Znap. Man, what a weird, weird idea. Of course, every few years, me and Brandon were talking about this the other day. Every few years, Lego has to do like the weird thing. Like they always have some kind of bizarre idea. And I think it's important for them to do their weird ideas and try the stuff out, because I think a company that doesn't innovate is kind of creatively bankrupt. They're kind of already died creatively. So I think it's good that they keep trying new things. Why not, right? Doesn't matter. Especially when you're a successful company that can absorb like a couple of failures, you know, in a short amount of time. It's not even really something to be worried about anymore. It's going to be interesting to see what this building is. I much prefer the idea of just building them and finding out what they are, like, as you build. Like, I had such a blast figuring out that this was a karaoke stall. Like, that was so much fun just to figure it out as we went. There was an excellent Lego reveal today, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. We'll see if any more joins us here in the next little bit, and we may get into some of those reveals, see what some folks thought about that. This building is definitely going to be extremely narrow. I think for this particular building, it's mostly just going to be a vertical type of deal, which is fine. I think this whole set screams verticality, really. And it's actually going to make it really easy to put on a display shelf. Because that's what I struggle with, is not things being too tall. I struggle with things being too wide, like in my displays. I can always, adjust the shelf in most cases to make it a little taller, but when you start getting into things getting a little too wide, that's where you start actually having problems, in my opinion. This is interesting. So what we're going to do is take one of these like transparent kind of transparent rectangles, I guess, and fill it with just these little kind of like Lego dots, little circular 1x pieces. And I think we're going to put in 7 of these. I would say it'll probably become clear why we're doing this a little bit later. Right now, I'm going to make a guess, because I've not really looked. Let's say that this is like a lava lamp kind of situation. Maybe that's what we're going for here. Possibly. Probably. Okay. But I'm not really sure what it is, honestly. I guess we'll figure it out as we go. All right. Top off this piece here. In a Lego instruction manual, it's almost impossible to discern a difference between a gold piece and like a darkened yellow. It does not show up. So I was trying to figure out what was going on when I was looking at the pieces. All right, so this is just going to fit onto this. You're just going to clamp it on. I'm still puzzled as to what we just built. Well, only one way to find out. Just keep right on. Interestingly, we have more of the little trans-colored dots here. Not really sure what's going on. Interesting. Oh, okay. This is such a great idea. Okay, what they're doing is they're taking these little cone pieces, and you can see they have it cast in a trans pink there. And they're taking the little things that you get with the Lego minifig series that like boost them up, like the transparent display stands, and using them as straws. That is great. Fantastic idea. Maybe this is one of those bubble tea places, right? That would definitely fit with the kind of poppy aesthetic that they have going. Okay, then we do another cup of whatever it's supposed to be. Maybe some kind of fizzy soda or something. Okay, get the bottom on. And plug it right in. Yeah, this is really colorful. Kind of like the bubblegummy kind of nature to it. Go, we just put that on. Okay, and so this is definitely a counter of some sort then. We see all that down there. Okay, it's definitely a countertop. Well, looks like we have a spigot. So, yeah, this is pretty much like a bar. I don't, of course, it can't be an alcoholic bar because Lego, they won't go for that. You can see, though, there's like the spigot, and this is, you know, where you're having your drink right here. So we're going to say it's a bubble tea bar. Of course, we'll find out when we get to the signage, won't we? Non-alcoholic bubble tea bar. That's what we'll say. I'd say not many people watch this, but I remember when, what was it on? Was it Fox Family or something? They did an Ultraman dub for Ultraman Tiga. And instead of going to a bar, the characters would go to a milk bar to drink milk. Yeah. Could you imagine if you could run a business that was literally just selling people milk in a restaurant atmosphere? That would be it. That would be the whole thing. Oh boy, could you imagine? I'm going to be running a water bar. Come in, you get a fresh glass of water. Make you a great deal on it. Fantastic deal. Sparkling water. Yeah, let's live dangerously and do sparkling water. I'm a big fan of sparkling water. I have nothing against sparkling water, especially when it has a little flavor to it. Lately, I've especially been drawn to the like off-brand, like Walmart, completely non-sweetened, like naturally flavored sparkling water. Really good, no calories, and it actually tastes really good with a meal. It doesn't overpower it, so I've actually really gravitated towards that lately. I like this. Getting the walls built up right there. anybody who's a fan of Transformers, we're all familiar with the concept of mass shifting. So basically, it means that when a robot transforms, like Soundwave, he can be a human-sized boombox 1 minute and then a giant towering robot the next. Or Megatron, he can turn into a human-sized gun and then he can turn into this giant robot the next. So, there's all kinds of matter shifting. There's all kinds of mass shifting. And I think that a similar kind of concept is at play with the Monkie Kid buildings. Because the size of them just kind of shifts. There's there's certain details in it that are full-sized that are very appropriate for a minifig, like the bar portion here. Totally minifig appropriate, like in scale with a minifigure. It works great. But then there's other things that, not at all. It's just kind of its own thing. And I find that funny that some of it is and some of it isn't. But I think that's what gives it its, kind of presence. I think that's what makes the Monkie Kid buildings unique. I guess stylization would be the right terminology there. They're stylized. I was looking at a couple of Lego city sets just earlier today, as a matter of fact. I kind of realized that I had talked about them kind of in a demeaning way the last few live streams. Didn't mean to. Wasn't what I was trying to do. And yeah, I think they're a little bit better lately than I remembered them to be. I'll put it like that. And honestly, I don't think I don't know. I guess they're not quite as undetailed as I was trying to say they were. Like, I think they're almost as detailed as these Monkie Kid buildings nowadays. But they're not as fun. They're not as zany. They're still just a little, they're a little vanilla for me. So I do stand by that they're doing better about that. There's more personality lately in some of these Lego City buildings and some of those sets. They're kind of getting a little bit more personality. But I definitely stick by my notion that Monkie Kid has way more attitude in its sets. There's just more fun to be had with it, if that makes sense. This one's coming together so quickly, it's crazy. I don't even feel like there was an awkward time, like in the build, where you're trying to figure out like the base of it or something like that, or some of the mechanical elements of it. I don't even feel like that this time. It's just coming together rapidly. And of course, all you can do is kind of hope that a lot of the other buildings are like that. And I think they will be. I think we're definitely well into the breezier part of the build, which I think the more mechanical part is getting the base of the city and all the kind of establishing stuff down and the tram track and all of that. Whereas with the next half, the stuff on top, that's where you're doing all your mini buildings. That's where you're doing all the fun little attitude stuff. Once again, this is one of Lego's favorite little things, to do what I've always said looks like almost like a cardboard box that's been opened up. You see these every time there's a big set. Especially anything to do with like a city or a big building. If it's supposed to be in a metropolitan area, then they can't help themselves. They go for it. All right, so that just rests up there. This is kind of weird. Did I do that right? Yeah. I would thought there would have been more support under here, but it's the kind of thing to where, like, if you push it too far down, it tries to come apart. I'd say that's about to get reinforced somehow, if I had to guess. definitely figuring out folks aren't too interested in watching Monkey Kid sets being built. I think it's something I like, and not many other folks do. I thought, well, if I was going to build one, if I was going to live stream one, maybe do the City of Lanterns set because it's new and maybe there would be at least slightly more interest in it. But don't think that's the case. This may be the last episode of building the City of Lanterns, and it's nothing dramatic or anything like that. It's just that if people, it seems fairly obvious that people do not want to see these sets built. And that's all right. We'll try building something else. We'll go on and do a little something different. Either way, it's a fun excuse to get to talk to people, but you would almost think that people had something better to do on a Friday night. You would almost think that. I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because it snowed. So I'm effectively snowed in for a little while. It's not that bad. It's not near as bad as it has been previously around here, but it's bad enough to where I'm not going anywhere unless it's an emergency. Oh, this is fun. We're doing some, I think, more Asian architecture in the roofs here. And that's going to become apparent as you see me build. Why I'm referring to it as that. And maybe someone in the comments can tell me what this style of roofing is called. You see it all the time in movies and TV shows anytime they go to Asia. And it's like the raised kind of plates on the roof. But I've never known what that was called. Never. Some student of architecture can let me know. Something I like is the City of Lanterns, and this also goes for the animation in the show. Anytime they're in the city, there's never a question about thinking, oh, well, maybe it takes place in America or something. No, it's very much China, and I like there's little details in here that's letting you know that this is definitely a Chinese city. It's just, of course, I think as a Westerner, I want to build something that isn't quite like what I see all the time or a city I could visit. I want to kind of, I guess the word exotic comes to mind. You want to kind of build something a little more exotic than that. And I think that City of Lanterns is kind of it. Do you see what I mean? How it's doing that thing that the Asian roofs do, like especially at like old temples and things. I think that's great. That is fantastic. All right, so these clips are just going to go right there on this little framing, which I love. I like it because it's useful, like it's there for a mechanical purpose, but it also it still keeps that Asian aesthetic. You see, that is so simple, yet it just does so much. I'm going with it. I'm still going with my original guess, a bubble tea place. I could be totally wrong on that. But truthfully, I have not looked. I don't know what it is, honestly. Still wondering if this new angle I'm using was the right choice, but for me, it's 10 times more comfortable. I'm not having to fight the camera and work my way around it and all of that, and it just seems a little more natural for me. But hopefully you're still able to see with fair accuracy what I'm doing. I think my problem right now is I'm a little close. Maybe, yeah, give it a little space. Just a little bit. All right. There we go. As I said earlier, there's quite a bit of unexpected verticality because the building is so narrow. All right, we've got that. We're building another one of these staircases, and this is one of the workhorses of the Lego piece library with a very minimal amount of effort, very minimal amount of build. You can have quite a bit of ground covered, literally. In this case, quite a bit of air covered, I guess. Doesn't take long at all using the big stair pieces. And I really like this as a stylistic thing that I'm seeing in this set, but I've never really done it before, about taking these platforms and like skipping every other step. I think it's just meant to make it look a little more interesting instead of just having, you know, the bare pieces or just making them completely non-studded, which for some people they prefer their sets not to have any studs, but I don't know. I like to keep a good balance, and I think this set has a really nice balance. I think that both looks are valid. I think it just depends on the set. It depends on what you're building. I like this because I see it now. This is like a cardboard box that they have supplies for the, like I said, we're going to keep calling it the bubble tea place. And then you have your bar down there where they're serving it. And yeah, I like that. That's what we're going to go with. All right, a few more steps here. And we're actually almost out of pieces for this bag. You can see how low we are right over here. That's another thing I like about doing this new angle, is that you can actually kind of see the pieces I'm using. It doesn't get cut off. Before, I was cutting it off to where you really couldn't see anything but the set in front of me, and I thought it was just tremendously more interesting to be able to kind of get a better look at everything. I'm kind of guilty for this particular live stream, though, of moving the camera around and repositioning it constantly. But I don't know, I kind of like that too. Trying to do a hybrid of the two styles where, yeah, I'm still doing different angles and things, but okay. So I think we're doing the sign right now. Let's see if it's see if it indicates what it is. Okay, we got this. Here it is. I don't know. Can someone read Chinese? I have no idea. I don't know what it says, but it looks cool. She's definitely sipping on a little drink right there, so I'm saying this is a little bubble tea stand. We're still gonna go with that. It's almost like an Easter color scheme for this place. You have those pastels, the pink and the pastel yellow. Yeah, I can't help but think of an Easter kind of color scheme. I still have one of those promo Easter sets. It's like the little chick or something you could build. It's in the top of one of my closets. I got it just as a, not meaning to, you know, they send it to you or whatever when you reach a certain threshold. But definitely need to give that to a kid or something sometime. Let them have a little fun building an Easter chick, maybe. I think we've all gotten those like unintentional promos before where it's like, this is cool, thanks. It's almost like getting a gift from a relative that you don't want to hurt their feelings. So Lego sends you like, oh, we thought you'd like this fluffy pink bunny rabbit for your promo this month. Enjoy. You're like, oh, I love it. It's just what I always wanted. Thank you. Lego's going to start sending like inappropriate promos that just offend the people that receive them. So it's like racial stereotypes, and you get one, and it's just a death threat. That's all it is. It's written in Lego. You put this together, your family will enjoy it. All right, we got our sign going finally. Got it close to straight, I think. All right, so that's going to be signage right here. That's why we had that studded square still out, I guess. I didn't realize it at the time. I was kind of wondering what the deal was. Oh, and of course it's the City of Lanterns, so we're going to build a couple of those little transparent red lanterns. With a set called the City of Lanterns, I'm not sure why I would ever express any sort of shock when it's time to build another lantern. So this is probably the funniest comparison I could probably make with this set, and it's probably a stupid comparison. But there's elements of it that sort of do remind me a little bit of some stuff from the original Blade Runner. Particularly, I don't know, some of those parts where it kind of looks like Deckard is in Chinatown, and he's trying to go to like those little food stalls and things. I don't know, I kind of get a vibe from that. It's not exactly like that or anything. I wish Lego would maybe for their 18 plus or Lego ideas or something, I think it would be wonderful to build like a city street from the original Blade Runner. And think about it, you could build Deckard's car, like his police car. I think it would be great.